Welcome to, weirdly I'm doing a hill climb on a Sunday. I went out in Wales yesterday, my legs feel terrible, but I'm meeting up with some colleagues, go for a walk with Rhiannon and some mates from work up in Forest of Bowland. Since I bought this bike, as you know, I figured I might as well come half an hour early, have a little punt up, nick a Pendle. Now this is a famous hill climb to me because this is where Chris Boardman won National Hill Climb Championships. Cracking little hill. I have done it once before. I didn't have a power meter. I got no idea how strong I was. I felt like I was strong then, so I don't think I will beat that time. But I'm on my super duper light bike. I know people will ask me how much this weighs. It's 5.5 kilos without all the stuff on. I've got cameras on and stuff today, so I weighed it last night and it was 6.2 in this build, which is pretty good, isn't it? Right, let's see. Even by my standards, that was rambling and chaotic. Welcome to the Forest of Bowland. If you don't know where that is, it's in Lancashire. It is often overshadowed by the Lake District, I guess, but it's like a beautiful area of Lancashire. It's not as stark as Wales, it's not as bleak, but very nice area of hills. You can see that I was lucky to have a beautiful day when I started warming up. The weather changed quite quickly. Nice cattle grid, by the way. So the hill I'm on today is Pendle. Yeah, it's 1.3k, 11% average. The Strava gradient makes it look smooth, but the Velo Viewer gradient really gives you the full picture that it's kind of split into two halves, right? There's some varied gradients within that, but give or take, it's a hard effort, then the cattle grid and a smooth bit, and then a shorter hard effort. It's kind of 2.5 minutes and then a minute with a little bit of flattish in the middle. Starts in this village of Sabden, which is nice enough little place. Like all the areas around here, plagued by traffic, but a nice enough little place. And I forget how much of the climb is actually done in the village alongside all the parked cars. So I've done my warm-up rep. I've come down it. Bike's lovely. Bike's nicer than I realised last time I rode it. No idea how I'll do. It's a bit windy up there, but it always is. Let's just have a go, see what happens. Sorry if my intro is shit and weird. It's a strange day and I hate filming in front of Rhiannon because I'm like a different person when filming, do you know what I mean? So it's weird. My dad's used to it, but it's weird in front of Rhiannon. At the top, I'll show you around my bike a little bit, okay? So to jump straight in, this is my rear view footage of the approach as you go through Sabden. Like I say, it's a tiny little place. It's only a few roads, but you cross this bridge and you come up and... Because I had my lightweight Garmin 130 on. I don't know if it does segments or it doesn't do segments, but I didn't have this segment on it anyway. I figured there's no point buying a hill climb bike and then putting a really heavy Garmin on when I don't need to. But anyway, the climb starts just before this turn on the left-hand side, and it's a bit of a flat roll in. Metrics a bit all over the place, do apologise, but it's only a flat roll in very temporarily, and then you are going uphill. It can be a bit busy. In a way, the fact that there's a full line of traffic on the left can be a bit of a blessing, because cars can only come down and you fit past them. So today it wasn't too big a deal, but in the height of summer, it really is like quite a busy road, so I guess that does impact things a fair bit. As you can see, even sort of 10 minutes after my warm-up, the weather's not quite as glorious as it was. It's getting grey, and actually by the time I dismantled the bike at the top, it was spitting on us, but got nicer for my walk again. My walk was weird, by the way. This is a bit of a tangent. I'll talk about the cycling more, but it's with a colleague of mine who's recently retired, and her husband, but I've known her for like 15 years now, and our mate Steve, who's quite new to the company but lives nearby, and then also Sue and Tony's daughter and her husband. So it was such a weird eclectic mix of people who were really nice and we had a nice time. I guess these are the sort of things that happen when you're entering middle age, as I truly am. Right, I don't know what gradient is really being displayed. Sort of 10 or 11% I think is consistently correct for this climb, with the exception of the middle part. It really is relatively steady. I think I've turned the audio track down a fair bit, but I think you can hear my bike quite a lot in this. The chain is noisy, the group set is noisy. It's a bit funny because I guess that's just what group sets were like, sort of 15 years ago when this iteration of Shram Red was was the best group set. But I'll tell you one thing, it is light as anything. I did have plans to sort of, well, to let myself be out the saddle. Apart from on the middle section, I was happy to just be out the saddle and stamp. Now, I don't really know what my legs are doing at the moment still, because I'm not in that peak form. I don't really understand how my body's reacting to certain sensations, so I was not holding myself accountable in any way. It was just, if I can do around 400 watts, that's what I would like, but I'm quite happy to just kinda plod along and see what happens. I think that was, yeah, that was the bulk of the plan. Seeing these two fellas up ahead gave it, you know, a bit of a hill climb feel. Imagine they're my Minutemen, and yeah, really have a punt at making sure I catch them. If you can see behind me, the view gets a little bit more expansive up here, and this is like the second steepest part of the climb, I think, just before the cattle grid. So yeah, had a good old push up here. This area, the Forest of Bowland, is it's very pretty, and the walk we did is allegedly what inspired Tolkien to write Lord of the Rings. So there's Clitheroe over the hill that had some factories in it when Tolkien was walking it, and the area is beautiful rolling hills like the Shire, and you can just see these enormous chimneys spitting smoke out all the way along this valley at the bottom of some hills. You can see exactly what it's like, and it was a lovely walk. So I passed that guy just before the cattle grid, and I did struggle a bit with, you know, the ethics. Sometimes I feel like a bit of a prick when you pass people, and clearly, like, I'm doing a race against myself, but these are just fellas out for a ride, and me, like, cutting them up just before a grid feels a bit obnoxious. So actually I think I say hello to the second guy, but it can't have come out well. A classic hello. Maybe it'd be more polite just not to say anything at all. And in my head, I always think that cattle grid demarks the middle of the climb, but it doesn't. I've done the bulk of the work here, but it's then ferociously steep towards the end. So this is the best bit of the climb, obviously. It's a really nice way to finish, just a bit of windy road, and I guess this is why it's called the Nick of Pendle. It's like a scar out of the hill, little gorge that you go through, I guess. So it's not switchbacks, but it is very steep. I started to see Rhiannon standing out up on the top of the car park. I'd asked her to film so I could put in some footage of me coming round. And at the end, she basically said she was doing me a kindness by not filming my horrendous form that looked terrible, and she just took some nice photos instead. So yeah, I appreciate the support nonetheless. All very nice. As you come round here, I think, oh, this is it, I'm just at the end. But obviously as the gradient gets steeper and steeper, you get slower and slower, and this bit actually is a long, drawn-out death. Even though my legs were feeling pretty good, I absolutely didn't have it in me to do a particularly strong sprint finish. I guess I just put a few more watts down, which is all well and good. And then, yeah, I see that car park on the left, think I'm at the top, but actually, just these final 20 metres at 18-19%, just to really rub salt in the wound. Very, very challenging. I'm very happy with how I did. I beat my best time by 10 seconds, and then, you know, not setting the world on fire, but decent power, so I'm very happy with that.
I don't think you went hard enough. Lovely.
So it was an okay effort. I think I've got a PR up there, but I think it might be the exact same time. Fucking hell, this road was so quiet until I started filming. I think it might be the exact same time I did last time, but it was 5 minutes and 16, and I did 393 watts, which is sort of 7 watts down on what I'd say is my normal 5-minute power. Touch lower than my very, very best hill climb efforts, but not bad considering I was saying how bad my legs were yesterday. Like, it's a proper respectable effort. I haven't filmed this bike at all, so just very quickly I'll show you around. I bought this bike for £1,000 on eBay, give or take, 1,300 I think it was. because it had a cracked top tube, so it was reduced. Got that fixed for £250 by a great guy in Southport. The bike without cameras and Garmin and power pedals weighs 5.5 kilos. I weighed it last night because rightly I expect everyone will ask me how much it weighs, just like this. 6.2. Which, considering I'm about 2 or 3 kilos heavier than I want to be, just offsets slightly from my look. Rode really nice. It's SRAM Red 10-speed mechanical. If any of you don't remember what shifting gears was like 15 years ago, everything is a clunk. Clunk, 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 bang, bang, bang. Not at all smooth, but it's the lightest group set ever made in production. So be it. The only drawback is on the back is a 25 because of this tiny little cage. I would like much more than a 25. Unfortunately, the derailleur to get a long cage is £300. It would mean I can take the front ring off and stuff, but I bought this bike ready light because I hate doing stuff like that. I'd rather hoover the stairs than tinker with my bike, and I don't hoover the stairs, so that tells you how much I enjoy tinkering with the bike. Yeah, now off for my walk. Rhiannon's waited very, very patiently for me, put up with this nonsense. So time to stop messing about with the bike. Thank you for watching.